What is our fourth main topic today?
Our fourth main topic comes to us from Diego. The Rock is deep into his press tour for Black Adam, and recently he was asked, quite bluntly, if Black Adam was going to fight Superman on screen. Johnson's response was equally quite direct as he replied, yes, absolutely. That is the whole point of this man. I think that not only reinforces the idea of the Cavill cameo in Black Adam, but also backs the notion that Cavill is back and going to be appearing a lot more in the DCEU. I know this makes me excited. Curious how this makes you feel.
How the fuck does this make me feel?
Thanks. Bring on the filthy.
How does this make me feel? Listen, I am the second half of the one relationship Henry Cavill doesn't know he's in. The bromance with me and Henry Cavill. My favorite Superman, the guy I've been waiting to come back to be a part of this thing. We've been talking a lot last couple of weeks about these little signs and symptoms that he was going to be there and all that kind of stuff. Well, it looks like Dwayne Johnson just put that all to bed, because Dwayne Johnson, when asked, are you making a movie of Black Adam fighting Superman? And this is what he said. He said the following: absolutely. That is the whole point of this, man. Thank you for asking that. And I've been saying for some time, there's a new era in the DC universe that's about to begin. And what I mean by that was introducing a brand new character. It's not a sequel. It's not an existing IP. It was, Black Adam. 2 years ago, the world had no idea who he was. We did, but not, the rest of the masses out there. Introducing the Justice Society of America, introducing that new era of the DC universe, but also what I really meant by this is a whole new era in the DC universe is listening to the fans and doing our best to give the fans what they want. And maybe sometime down the road, pauses, and I went through this in pro wrestling, is you can't always give them what you want, but you'll always know that we're listening. And in this case, with what you and I are talking about, I have been listening, and I've been waiting to address the fans for years, because I've been waiting for someone to step up and to address the fans and say, hey, we hear you. So finally, after many months, turned into many years, we ended up with what we ended up at. And the whole goal and intention is now this new era, new time. Now let's build it out. So Dwayne Johnson basically said, oh yeah, we are making a Black Adam versus Superman movie. Not that necessarily it'll be called Black Adam versus Superman, but he goes so far as to say, that's the point. That's the whole point. And listen, we've been talking for a while that it is no coincidence that right from the earliest days, Rob, when we were at CinemaCon 6 years ago and Dwayne Johnson comes on stage, talks about how he's going to have his boot on the throat of the DCEU and all that kind of stuff, that the pictures he constantly put out on his social media were always images of Black Adam and Superman. Sometimes ones with Shazam in there as well, but it was always that. He's tweeting out pictures of him and Henry Cavill having tea. We've talked ad nauseum about the fact that Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife is still his manager. And you know who else she manages? Henry Cavill. We've talked ad nauseum about Henry Cavill talking about the fact that the cape is still in the closet. All this kind of stuff. Now, we've never known for sure. But are we at a point now that we can say we know for sure? Henry Cavill is still our Superman. And if it wasn't for Hugh Jackman saying he was coming back as Wolverine, I would proclaim this to be the best movie news of the year, but it comes in just second to that. But still, this is amazing. We've heard reports coming out of the fan screenings in Mexico that some people say, now we don't know if it's true, but people saying that Henry Cavill does make an appearance in the movie. Whether that's true or not or frivolous, we'll find out soon enough when the movie comes out in a couple of weeks. But anyway, Rob, you know how I feel about this. I am giddy. The blood is rushing. I am so excited. What do you think about, and how do you interpret The Rock's overall comments here?
Well, I think, we've been discussing this very thing, and we were talking, just last week about how the great thing about Black Adam is now you have a previously introduced character that is maybe not an equal, but can fight Superman on his own turf. Because one of the big problems about making a Superman movie is who's the antagonist? Who's the villain? After Zod, what do? Lex Luthor's a human being. You can't just keep bringing him back, because then you have to find some MacGuffin that he uses to either depower Superman with kryptonite or something else. Whereas Black Adam, I know it hasn't been established in the movie world, but within the comics, Black Adam has the one thing that Superman has a weakness to besides kryptonite, and that is magic.
Which is why Kingdom Come could be a big deal.
And that's what I think. I honestly believe that that's what they're going to do. Because can you imagine? The thing about the Kingdom Come series is if you think about it, it shows the aging superheroes, and then it has all these new young heroes that are introduced within the confines of that comic. But now, as we've seen what Marvel does, they take their big known comic storylines and then adapt them to film. Kingdom Come, you have Black Adam has led a group of young whippersnapper superheroes who are snarky and social media savvy and don't have any respect for their elders. And you've got Superman on the opposing side with perhaps Batman and Wonder Woman. You think Dwayne Johnson doesn't want to make a Kingdom Come movie? That's where they're going to go.
Or something like
it. But I think it's going to be Kingdom Come because if Dwayne Johnson ain't dumb, he just says, I want to give, if they announce that and you've got Superman versus Shazam and Black Adam, come on.
Now, I think we
the
all
Marvel
understand
family.
that if Cavill does indeed pop up in Black Adam, I think we all understand it's probably a quick cameo. It's probably a quick thing, probably a post-credit thing, in and out. I wonder because, one of the things that have come out of Warner Brothers under the new regime has been that we've heard all the reports. They are making Henry Cavill as their Superman priority. They like Henry Cavill as their Superman. I wonder how much of this is transpired as a result of that. But Gal, the interesting thing here, Christian, is that he's not talking about Black Adam, the movie coming out. He's talking about later. So that tells me that they've got future plans. They've got bigger designs at this point. We want to take a moment and thank a sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh. Guys, my wife Ann and I love using HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. When you subscribe to HelloFresh, you can check Save Money off of your fall to-do list. HelloFresh is 25% cheaper than takeout and even less expensive than grocery shopping too. And HelloFresh works with your ever-changing schedule. Plans are flexible and you can choose your meals for the week, update your preferences, or change your delivery day all in the HelloFresh app. Now, Ann and I are both working professionals, so when it comes to dinner time, it can be a bit of a challenge. We don't really have time to cook and we don't want to eat out all the time. And that's why HelloFresh comes through so clutch for us. Not only do we get to eat delicious, nutritious food, but Ann and I both have a lot of fun getting to cook together, following the easy-to-follow steps in getting the meals made. So go to HelloFresh.com/Campea65 and use the code Campea65 for 65% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Campea65 using the code Campea65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Anyway, that was a huge, long spiel we just heard from Dwayne Johnson. What did you take away from it?
I took away from it that Dwayne Johnson is A, a marketing genius.
Yeah.
B, calling the shots with this movie because he is in power. To make no mistakes about it. Because Warner Brothers didn't really have a plan to go to Comic-Con. He's like, I want to go to Comic-Con. They went to Comic-Con. I don't think they marketed it the right way, but it was all about him. It was all about him putting on the suit, doing all that. It also shows that a lot of the different times, whether it's DC, Marvel, Star Wars, people are sitting down and they go, is Superman in this movie? Well, I can't say I'm going to get in trouble. Yes, he's in it, or whatever, or is he gonna be in a future one? Because he knows this particular trailer, right? People have been excited for it, but not over the moon like everybody. I need to see Black Adam. He knows I need a hook. We need a hook. Everybody's excited about Henry Cavill. I'm excited about Henry Cavill, meeting him. I'm excited about Henry Cavill. So you know what I'm gonna do? In every one of my interviews, no matter who asks me about it, I'm going to tease it. I'm going to do it in a way that and everybody, what's everybody talking about now? Whether it's maybe he shows up at the end, the potential thing, Henry Cavill's coming back. And I can't even tell you how many people I just saw on a video I did yesterday. I wasn't going to see this movie, but just for the fact that Henry Cavill might be in it, I'm going to see it. I saw that various times. And there's so many people like, wait, if he's going to be in it, this is going to be the first time we see him come back. Wasn't very interested, but now I am. Very smart by Dwayne Johnson to get people in that theater to see the movie and not just leak it online.
Well, because the other thing, too, is we talked about this before. When you go back to when Justice League did its theatrical release, if you guys remember, they kept Superman out of all the marketing. They kept Henry Cavill out of all the marketing. And then they realized, well, that was stupid.
Yeah.
And then the moment that they had the bad opening weekend, they started flooding their marketing. There was no way Dwayne Johnson, Warner Brothers, what the $2 Productions, is that the name? $7 Productions. There's no way they were going to make that mistake. They weren't going to spill it early, but I remember we said on this show, I bet as we get closer and closer to Black Adam, I bet they're going to start teasing Henry more and more. Start with Dwayne The Rock getting on social media and going, well, that's right. No one on this planet can stop Black Adam. And then Rock turns to the camera and goes, on this planet, And he gives the wink. It's like, come on. Like, he's a master at this.
I just think too, John, is that first of all, this movie has to be good.
Well, yes.
It all comes down to, is this movie good? Will it do business? It has to do business. Even if it has to do some kind of business, because it can't not. If it underperforms too much, they'll kill these plans.
But even
Yes.
if it's subpar right now, Rob, even if this movie is subpar, because of what he's doing in these interviews, it's going to do better than a subpar movie would do.
I
agree.
completely agree.
Yes.
But I do think what I really like about this is Black Adam is a huge part of the Shazam universe. So what you've got is if there's a fight picked at the end of this movie, and I mean, they set up where Black Adam gets in Superman's face or something like that, and you're going, whoa. Black Adam has a team already. He's got Shazam and
Does he?
The Marvel. I don't know.
We don't know where
but
this
he's
film's
got.
gonna
If he
end.
got the powers from Jaimin Hansu, he got. There's that side. There's the magic realm already teed up to be. There's the opposing force, and who does Superman have to get is the Justice League. Momoa, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman. There's your battle, and the Justice Society. I'm telling you, I'm getting shivers, man. This could be awesome.
A lot of
awesome.
lot of assumptions.
I'm making assumptions,
but it's pretty fun.
The axe of Zaslav has to swing both ways, and
Yeah.
they can't not be thinking about this, because everything else that's coming out is still the DCEU. You've got Flashpoint, whatever it's going to be called. You've got Aquaman coming out. You've got Shazam coming out. So they've got 3 more movies coming out that are all part of the established DCEU. And do you think if they don't, within that period of time, they'll announce this movie by March of 2023?
Depends how well this movie does.
Didn't they greenlight Blue Beetle too?
Yeah.
Well, they more than green. Like, so Blue Beetle was
done.
going to be a direct to HBO Max thing, and they looked at it and said, nah, this thing's too good. We're going to put this thing theatrical.
But that might be
that's
the
coming
only
too.
one that doesn't go with the DCEU, right?
But the Batgirl
But Blue
one
Beetle's a
was.
Justice League member.
Yeah. I think they're
mean,
going to have it take
not-
place in the same universe. I mean, depending on, look, a lot of this rides on as well what Batman Flashpoint, because I'm still saying that's what ultimately is going to be the name of the movie, how this Flashpoint movie is going to, what is going to be the state of the DCU after that movie is done? And I that's still a big mystery to me. There's a lot of questions to answer there still. But anyway, guys, question is for you. Dwayne Johnson just flat out come out and said, yes, we are planning on a a Superman versus Black Adam. Maybe that's not what it'd be called, but we are definitely planning on them fighting in the movies, and it ain't going to happen in this Black Adam, which means they're planning future movies, which of course means Henry Cavill. I'm very excited about it. How do you guys feel about it? How do you think they're going to set this all up? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.